Yo, what is up, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of the Sweet Advice Podcast. All right, so I'm sure you guys are wondering what the hell is this podcast all about? All right, so first of all, we're going to make this very short and simple. We are coming to you live from El Paso, Texas, which is now my second home. I'm originally from Houston, Texas. I'm going to be moving back there eventually, maybe in about 6 months from now, probably less than that. And I'm going to be filming live from Houston, Texas. So get ready for that. I'm your host. My name is David Maldonado. And we are basically in my spare bedroom that I tried to turn into a studio, but failed miserably. All right. But we're here. We're making it work. And, we got the camera. We got the mics. We got the headphones. We got the laptop. We got the mixer. We got everything going. All right. So what is this podcast all about? First of all, the name, the Sweet Advice Podcast, comes from my love of boxing. So we're going to be covering boxing extensively. It's something that I'm passionate about. It's something that I follow. Boxing has a nickname. It's called the Sweet Science. So I wanted to stay kind of in that range. But I also want to give you some advice on investing and entrepreneurship, some business related stuff, because who doesn't want to know about that, right? Now, listen, guys, there are hundreds of thousands of podcasts, okay? I know this. Everybody knows this. If you don't know what a podcast is, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. And if this is your first podcast, go explore. There's many podcasts out there. A lot of them are motivational. A lot of them talk about news and sports and weather, whatever it is that you're looking for. There are a couple podcasts out there that are very famous. They make a lot of money. They have a lot of viewers, a lot of listeners. One is the Joe Rogan Experience. And I want to give a shout out to Joe Rogan. I hope you see this one day. Joe Rogan, if you've never heard the podcast, the Joe Rogan Experience, it is an awesome podcast. And it's the reason basically that why I'm doing this. Joe Rogan gives people inspiration and motivation he tells you, go out and do what you want to do. Go out and do what you're passionate about. Don't be afraid. If you fall, oh well, get up and what's the worst that can happen? Okay. Now there's a lot of other podcasts out there of business, finance, and entrepreneurship, and they know way more than I do. Okay, I'm a high school teacher, guys. Been teaching for 10 years. I teach social studies. And so what the hell do I know about finance? Well, not much. But what I do know is that we all need to invest somehow. We all need to invest a little bit of our money for our future. If you guys don't have a savings account, you need to get a savings account. That's the first step, right? You need emergency money. And you need a 401k and, an IRA, which we're going to be covering extensively in other podcasts. So stay tuned for that. But basically, we're going to break down the podcast into three categories. So category number one is going to be investing. And we're going to talk a little bit about the stock market, what the stock market is, how it works, what to do in the stock market, how much money do you need, what companies you should invest in, what companies should you avoid. All right, so we're going to be covering that extensively. And if you're very interested in that, because I know a lot of people that have been wanting to invest, but because of lack of knowledge, because of fear, for whatever reason, right? You've always wanted to invest. You wanted to own a piece of Walmart, a piece of Home Depot or Target or Apple, Netflix, right? How cool would it be to own some Amazon stock, right? Or Microsoft. So we're going to talk about all that stuff. The second thing we're going to be talking about is, not talking about, what I'm going to show you is we're going to have interviews, right? We're going to try to release one interview a week of local entrepreneurs, people that are doing something amazing, some people that are doing something that is successful. Some of these people have a job, but they're doing something on the side. Some of these people left their job to follow their dream, to pursue their dream. Some of these people are searching for their dream and they're just beginning. So we're going to hear all that stuff, failures, successes, what to do, what not to do, what to look for. And, if you guys are interested in that, stay tuned. We're going to have many interviews with some awesome people. Our very first interview is going to be Daniel Martinez, who was on the podcast. Well, not really on the podcast, but he's a good friend of mine, and we do our own podcast without microphones. And we have a great old time, and it's just funny. He's going to be our very first interview. So you don't want to miss that one. I understand that there's many podcasts out there, especially like Entrepreneur on Fire, right? If you've never heard of Entrepreneur on Fire, look it up. This dude, he has an amazing story, and he's very successful now. He's making millions of dollars. Congratulations to him. That's awesome. But however, I was listening to one podcast. I forgot what it was called, and this guy was interviewing another guy, and he was basically saying, I'm doing this and that, and I'm pretty successful now, and this is how much money we're making. I started a new business, and then the guy says, so I grew up in the barrio, and nobody basically gave me a chance of being successful, because of the barrio, and I said, I was driving, guys. I was driving my car, I was listening to this, and I almost crashed. Like I almost sideswiped this old lady driving a Lincoln, one of those big old Lincoln cars, and I said, "What the shit did this guy just say?" He grew up in the barrio. First of all, I don't even know what a barrio is. You guys know what a barrio is? I had to look that shit up, right? I know what a barrio is. That's a Mexican hood, a Mexican ghetto, Mexican projects, right? I grew up poor. I'm Mexican American. I'm Hispanic. I didn't grow up in the barrio, but I grew up in something similar to that called a barrio, right? So, these podcasts out there are interviewing people that are very successful. They got some good advice for you, but Jesus Christ, man, come on. We want to listen to some real people that grew up in the barrio, in the projects, in the ghetto, and are now successful. That's what people want to hear. That's what you want to hear. That's why you're here, right? We want to show you some average Joes that are doing some really good things, that made some smart business decisions, and now they're living out their dream. Now they're doing what they're passionate about, right? So the third thing is we're going to talk about sports. I'm a huge sports fan. Most people out there love some kind of sport, and we're going to focus on a little bit of sports betting and sports in general. I'm a huge boxing fan. Once again, the Sweet Advice podcast comes from my love of boxing, the Sweet Science. And, we're going to cover the biggest boxing events. We're eventually going to try to go live so we can call the fights. So you can stream us and live that experience with us. But we're going to, on our website, thesweetadvice.com, check it out. We're going to be updating every week the fight schedule. We're going to talk about betting odds, who's the favorite, what round we think there might be a knockout in. We're also going to do it for UFC. We don't follow UFC as close, but we're fans of all contact sports. Unfortunately, right now, football season is not in full effect, but when it comes on, you better be sure the Sweet Advice podcast is going to be there for some college football, which is personally one of my favorite sports. And you can make a lot of money on college football. Right now we have March Madness going on, so we might cover a little bit of that, maybe in the Elite Eight, Final Four, something like that. So those of you that are looking into, making a little bit of money with sports, stay tuned. Come on with us. Check out our website. Follow us on Twitter at The Sweet Advice. Check us out on Facebook, The Sweet Advice Podcast. Everything is The Sweet Advice, right? You're not going to forget it. The Sweet Advice. It's going to be stuck in your head, and you're going to know who we are. We're trying to do this big, right? And we need your help to do it. So those are the three major things that we're going to be focusing on. And we just hope that you guys enjoy it. Like I said, we're going to keep this short and simple. All of our podcasts, I'm going to try to release 3 a week, 3 different categories. And we're definitely going to do 1 interview per week just to give you guys some motivation, some sweet advice. And those of you that have been wanting to do something, those of you that have been wanting to invest, wanting to start a business, try a little bit of sports betting, try a little bit of gambling in the stock market. Look, this is what we're here for, right? It's exciting. It's 2018. Everyone should be doing something. Get up, get your ass up and go do something, right? This podcast right here that I'm doing is my creation, it's my baby. I know there's already hundreds of thousands of podcasts. You know what? I don't care, all right? Because this is something that I have been wanting to do for a very long time. And actually, let me tell you a little story real quick. Before I started this podcast, the Sweet Advice Podcast, my name was American Daydream. And I had this big vision of creating, same concept, but I wanted to talk about, daydreams and the daydreams that people have, what's going on in the world with news and business, and how to start a business, or interview local people. But when I went to this website called namecheap.com. Namecheap.com is real cool. You go to that website, you pop in the name you want, that you're looking for. So I put in americandaydream.com, and lo and behold, the name was already taken, right? Now, right then and there, I should have known. I should have known that it was a big mistake, that I shouldn't have gone through with it. So what ends up happening is, if you want your name, but it's already taken, you can put a bid in. You can put a bid in to basically buy that name from people, so whoever already owns it. And that's the thing is, look, I hate these people, but I think they're really smart. There's some people that buy a bunch of domain names, a bunch of them. They don't do anything with it. They don't have a website. They're not starting a business. They just go out and buy these names that they know people are probably going to end up wanting. And they buy these names, they hold them so that someone like me, they're hoping that one day somebody like me who wants that name comes along. They're like, oh my God, we don't have it. Oh, what am I going to do now? Oh, wait, I could put a bid in, right? But I think one of the bids that I saw was like for starting at $200. I'm like, hell no. Get out of here, man. I'm not going to pay $200. Like, I really want the name, but $200, that's way too much what I'm looking for. Namecheap.com, and most of them are $10 a year, right? And then you can renew your subscription, keep your name, and so on and so forth. So, I should have known. But what did I do? I settled. I ended up settling for this name, AmericanDream.com. Which I still own because I bought it a couple months ago and I never did anything with it. But I ran it by a couple people, and some people liked it, most people didn't like it. They're like, man, I don't know, that's a long name and it sounds like the American Daydream too much, right? And so I started thinking like, God damn it, you know what, this isn't gonna work. So I scrapped the whole thing. I ended up scrapping the whole thing, and I had to start all over. So I thought to myself, what is it that I'm really, really passionate about? What is it that I want to talk about? What is it? How do I get my voice out to the world? So I started thinking, you know what? I really love boxing, right? The sweet science. I really like talking about investing. How cool would it be to have a podcast where you basically get people to invest in the next Apple, the next Microsoft, the next Amazon, right? It's always cool to talk about these companies. Companies of the future. What are companies doing? How are they doing it? How's it going to work? And so, those are the things that I'm kind of passionate about. So, here we are. The Sweet Advice Podcast is here to bring you some sweet ass advice on companies of the future, how to invest, what the stock market is. We're going to be interviewing local entrepreneurs. We got a spot right here. We got the mics, we got the headphones. It's ready to go. If you guys want to be on the podcast, if you have something awesome to offer to our listeners, to our viewers, come on down. Send me a message. You can find me on Facebook, find me on Twitter, go to our website. We have a contact us link. It has a form, fill it out, give me your name, and I'll hit you up as soon as I can. And, so here we are. Here we go. Let's do this. Stay tuned for our next episode, which we're going to interview my good friend Daniel Martinez, who is a musician. Those of you who are looking to be a musician, a successful musician, those of you who want to write music, those of you who are learning how to play guitar or drums or whatever instrument, you're starting off a garage band, then this is the place that you want to be. All right. So now we are going to give a little shout out to On the Gas Promotions, On the Gas Racing. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by On the Gas. On the Gas is an automotive promotion company based out of my hometown, Houston, Texas. They host some of the largest street truck and car events in the nation. Check them out at onthegas.com. That's ONDGAS.com. So if you get on the website, here's the deal. We have something awesome for you. Use the discount code, The Sweet Advice, to receive 20% off of your merchandise. So for those of you that are watching this on YouTube, this is the shirt. I'm wearing the logo right here. All right. I don't know if you can see that, but it says On the Gas Racing. And my shirt's actually a little old. It's got, it's cracking. Hint to On the Gas. I might need a new shirt or maybe two. But they have all sorts of badass merchandise, shirts, caps, decals, all kinds of stuff, right? Now, I will say this. The last time I was at one of the events, there was thousands of people. I was surprised myself how big the event actually is. There was people there from Florida, from Oklahoma, from California, all in Houston, Texas, at this racetrack, basically showing off their trucks, right? It's an event for racing, souped up trucks, souped up vehicles. They had this truck there called Jesus Christ, I forgot what it was called. It was the fastest street truck in America, according to what I heard. It looked like a farm truck. I think the guy had his own TV show or something like that on Discovery or one of those channels. And God damn it, that truck was fast. It was insane. Nothing can keep up with it. It's ridiculous, right? Maybe one of those Formula One cars or something like that. But look, guys, it's an amazing event. Check it out. Go to their website. See when the next event's coming up. If you can make it out there, make it out there. It is awesome. They have this one of my favorite events. It's where two trucks, like these huge dually trucks, they have these big old tires, and they burn out, and they see who can create the most smoke. And it's different. It's awesome. It's cool for the kids. It's cool for every age group. Come on and check it out. So big shout out to On the Gas for being our sponsor. And that's it for you guys. We're going to be coming to you very soon with another episode. So stay tuned. Check you guys later.